Hey everybody, back with another video on Jack Lick's arcade tech repair journey. We have pole position 2 on the bench today, and it is filthy, and it still has the battery on it. Just showing you, does kind of, I see some discoloration on the traces, so I'm sure this is leaking somewhat. So yeah, I can see the green now on there. I've seen a lot worse though. Like I've seen it where this whole ground trace is jacked up. Video board edge connector looks good. I mean, for the most part, I think this is going to clean up nice. I mean, this video board might even work for all I know. Definitely have some bad corrosion on some of these chips here, some of the customs. So first thing I'm going to do is obviously clean it. It's filthy. I'm going to clean it. And I've done this before. I'll show you a little bit of it after I clean it and come back. Alright, just a quick, simple green bath to start with, and then I'm going to basically number all the chips. So like 2 and like that. I can't really see it. 2F. And I'm not going to bore you with this, I'm just showing you that this is what I do. 4F, 3F, 4E. Alright, CPU board. You can see the battery damage is there, but it, again, not too bad. Spot there on the ground trace. Cut the battery off. Look, cleaning up here, definitely the PAL area, but I bet most of this is going to be salvageable. I mean, I probably might not even have to do any trace repair, but let me get these chips out and cut that battery off. I can do that real quick. Here's the battery. Yeah, you see that trace right there under the battery. These traces sometimes get messed up, these two right there. Alright, let me get these chips out and acid bath, and we'll take another look. Alright, just slowly, I'm not showing this work, but slowly getting the boards back ready. This is the video board, and everything, cleaned it up, did a quick little toilet bowl wash, fiberglass pencil to the card edge fingers right there, and then I just wanted to dive into this a little bit. So this is a Rev E board, and there had to have been a bodge job on Rev E, and that's why this is here. It might even be there on regular pole position Rev E's, or Rev E might be pole position 2. And this is serial number 1000 something of an upright pole position 2. So that's kind of interesting to me, and I know it is yeah, does the serial number match? This says serial number 1044. It is, I had to remove that, but it is also, the CPU board is also a Rev E board. Yeah, I think we already disclosed that it is a matching set, upright 1044. So Rev E, you know, is pretty far in the process, so I would think that this very possibly could have been a pole position 2 board from the start. No, it couldn't have been, because they had we see where they added the sockets and stuff right here, the additional ROM sockets in the ROMs. Interesting. I don't know. I guess it was a regular pole position board that was converted, but it just has a bodge job on the Rev E board between this chip here and like there's a via basically here on the normal boards that connect over to this chip, the 74367. But alright, I'm going to do some chip cleaning. I have all of my chips This is all of my CPU side. That is all of the video board side. So I'm going to clean all these up, put the customs in Tarnex, Dremel the rest of the legs, and we'll see where we are with that video board at least. Alright, every socket has some D100L on it, and then a lot of the customs I actually used my brush and brushed the legs. The only two sockets that looked questionable, like they were pretty heavily oxidized and discolored a little bit even, is 2F and 2L, and there's obviously a custom here, so I might come back and replace those, but I'm going to leave it alone for now until I get the CPU board working. Anyway, very time consuming to do all of that. It was like, and to place every socket, make sure all the legs are straight and all that stuff, Dremel every chip leg. You know, this is like several hours worth of work usually. Alright, onto the CPU board, and I've already taken fiberglass pencil or pen to the card edge and stuff, and also started to brighten up some of these vias and stuff like that. Like, let me see if I can show you guys real quick. Zoom in. Alright, let's see, like right here. See how it kind of brightens. Just a little bit of fiberglass pencil there. Now that socket doesn't look great, and a lot of this area has got some corrosion from the alkaline damage, but I'm just trying to clean it up as best as I can. And then I'm going to have to remove some of these components probably, and you know, get them, like, really take some sandpaper or something. I was thinking about trying to use my sandblaster with some walnut shell to get in here. I've already started to take some sandpaper to this area right here, because there was a lot of darkness whenever I see these dark spots, basically. And I did the same thing over here. See, I just sanded it. There was a dark spot right there. And then I'll put some solder basically back on it. So, alright, just working on this. I think I'm going to remove some of these components. Right here, it was so bad that one of the transistors came off, but I tested some of these where the most common bad parts are. Like right here, and there's continuity, so the traces are still there. I just need to make sure they don't get any worse. This had so much corrosion, this chip here, dang, you can't really see it, that it's kind of lost its tin. Like, you can see all the way down to the copper now on those legs from the toilet bowl cleaner and removing the base. So, but yeah, you can see this discoloration. I'm gonna have to get sandpaper there and try to get into these resistors and stuff, this whole area. Alright, making slow progress here with my Dremel and sandpaper. I use this on my Dremel and just kind of get the corrosion anywhere I see discoloration. I'm trying to get, remove the parts, get some discoloration, get it down to copper like that, and then re-tin it. And I pulled the Z80 socket because there was this one, let's see, that one right there was kind of jacked up. Anyway, there's some corrosion, or the pins aren't looking good. Oxidation, that's the word I was looking for. Oxidation, plus that pin looked jacked up. So I'm going to replace the Z80 socket. I was able to pull out the 82 153, I think. Let's see if you can see it there. yeah, 82S153, which is like a PAL kind of chip, and it pulled out pretty good, and most of the stuff looks somewhat decent. Like I don't really see that much corrosion down this way, even though those pins, you see how the pins are copper there. So there was some corrosion on that chip. I might end up pulling this chip. And there's some oxidation on this. I think this is the Z8002 socket. I'm not super thrilled about a few of those, but most of them look actually somewhat decent. I might try it at least once with that in there. So, alright. I'm going to put the resistors back and replace that Z80 socket, this one, and we'll come back, I guess. Yeah, you can see, like, here's the discoloration right there. See, that's where, see that little bit of discoloration? That's where the base, the alkaline, is starting to kind of get access to it. It's very minor, but better to clean it up now than later. And I even cleaned up all this area here. Wanted to clean all the through holes, etc. To make sure there's nothing like in the through hole itself. Only one right here, this trace was eaten through right at the through hole there. And this one I actually screwed up, so I had to make a jumper right there by R90. That one is often messed up, but I ended up screwing it up, I think, when I pulled the resistor out. Alright, I've been messing with this. I have everything back together, and I didn't power it on with you guys. I'm kind of not in the filming mood, so I'm just trying to make progress. All the chips back in. And boom, it's working, right? It looks like it's working anyway. But it's sporadic. Like, it was working yesterday, and then I power it on, and it's like caught in it won't get past the boot screen. And I put the cat box on it, and I can read memory and stuff like that, and so that's not the problem. So maybe I can get it into the symptom here, but I started looking at the reset circuit, and I'll link to my previous video where I kind of cover this a little bit. But pin 1 is the watchdog, and so that's good. That's the clear pin on 6A, this 161 counter. Pin 2, I have nothing, and that is supposed to be my clock. And I don't know why I have nothing there. Maybe it's not connected. There could be a problem there. See, and I just got it to reset just by pressing on that chip a little bit. Now it did reboot. Pin 15 is the carryout, which is low. See, I just got it to reset again, and it's frozen. There's something going on with that chip 6A, and I just reset it, and it was questionable anyway. Like, I could tell that's the one where you can see maybe that the legs, after I did the acid bath wash, like the tin is completely off. Like, I bet this chip is bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it and check continuity on my clock pin to make sure something's not just bringing that line down or something, and trace that pin too, because if I just press on that chip, maybe, nope, can't get it to reset now. But if I probe it with a logic probe, oh, there we go. I don't know what just happened except for me probing it. I'm just sitting here probing it. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's just random or up there it goes, it just reset. But the fact that I have no clock on that pin too, That's not good. I should definitely have the watchdog, reset, toggling, and I should have clock on pin 2, and then that's basically it. I mean, and then pin 15 is the ripple carryout is the reset circuit. So, all right, let me pull that chip and see if I can find out what's wrong. All right, I think I found my problem. Hopefully, let's see here. Well, whatever. You'll just listen for the beep. Whoops. There we go. Pin 2. If I can come in here somehow. This is pin 2. Right there. And it comes to this spot right by the, I think it's the positive of the battery where it comes in for charging. Comes right, there's a little via right there, little via, and that via comes up to here, and I missed it. There's a little break, so that's why we're not getting our clock. Now, I am gonna go ahead and pull this chip just because, you know, the legs look the way they do. And see here. See, I mean, it's probably working. Honestly, the chip is probably okay, but it just had seen so much corrosion. I feel like it's the right thing to do. And there's a little bit of corrosion on the back side of it, like right there. See the discoloration right there where my jumper is? So removing that chip, and as well as this capacitor right here, will allow me to clean that trace. So I am going to do that. Alright, I did a jumper over here and cleaned that up. So I fixed my clock issue on pin 2, removed that chip. It did test fine, the 161, but I'm going to replace it anyway. It tested fine in my tester. And basically I'm just, you know, using my Dremel tool like this and cleaning up the traces. So I went ahead and removed, if you can see, let's see right here, I removed a couple capacitors just so I could get in there and kind of clean up the bad coloring spot. There's just that right there, I couldn't get all the way into it, and I don't feel like removing the chip, but that's just, I think I got enough of it where it'll be fine. So just need to re-tin. Get the idea here. And then what I do is just come in with my, it's hard for me to do on camera because I'm blind. And then I just go like that. Alright, I have it back on the bench. Everything's re-tinned. New 161 in there, even though I didn't need it. I got my jumper. Maybe I'll go ahead and hook, let me see. Well, let me hook up my power and my logic probe. Alright, should have everything hooked up. Let's power on. Oh my god, that's what I was getting before. See, pin 2. Well, pin 2 is beeping now. 15 is low. Oh, what? Okay, I was about to say the clock should be definitely working. What's going on? Just reset this here real quick. Yeah, see, it's not booting up all the way. So it wasn't that, unless I messed something up. But, I mean, this is exactly the behavior I was getting before. It's like something's not 100%. And now it's working again. I was just probing around. You know, it doesn't make sense to me. I wonder if I'm going to check this line right here because I have that jumper for the start-stop right there. I'm not sure where that goes. I have to check. But maybe that's potentially part of the problem. I just reset. And it's frozen again. That's our clock. Ground. I don't know. Doesn't always boot correctly. Boom. Then it worked. Now, the only sockets that I was worried about is partially... Was I worried about the Z80 socket? I replaced that socket. And I think it was maybe 2F or one of these two sockets didn't look good, but... I mean, didn't look great from an oxidation standpoint, but... I don't know. It's flaky. So, usually flakiness... Oh, I just jerked the board and it freaking went off. Just rocking the board a little bit. Questionable socket, questionable chip. Alright, well, I haven't been able to get it to flake out again. Damn. But I figured I would replace this C9. C9 is part of the reset circuit. And sometimes it tests bad. And it has to do with like holding a charge, and then when the watchdog triggers, or if you manually reset it, it like drains, you know, the capacitor or something like that. I can't remember. But if I just come to the plus side here and then hit my reset, you can see C9 is part of that reset circuit, and I'm booting fine like that. But let's go ahead and test it with ESR real quick. Power off. Get my ESR meter. And it says 3.5, which is in the yellow range for a 10 microfarad cap. And as an example, here is a brand new one. And it's 1.25. So I'm gonna take that out. I don't know if that's kind of why. Maybe there's a little bit of flakiness there. I'm not sure. I doubt it. I think it has to do with something to do with the Z8000s and reading the other ROMs and stuff, but it wasn't watchdogging. So we know the Z80 and the RAM, all that stuff is good, you know, because it doesn't freeze up and give you an error. Alright, so I'm going to just show the difference between maybe that socket. You can see that there's a few, like right there. I mean, it's not terrible after I put the deoxit and worked in there. I mean, it's not terrible, but there are a couple pins, like right there, that look a little weird. And just compare it to how bright a brand new 40-pin socket is. So I definitely get replacing the sockets, you know what I mean? Alright, so I'm going to replace that socket and be right back. Alright, I have the socket replaced, and I'm just going to power it on so you can kind of see what the symptom is without the Z80 in there. See how it freezes right there? And that's the behavior we were getting before. Alright, Z8002 is in. The new socket, bam, works. Let's go play some pole position too. I'll put this in a cabinet and play it. Alright, haven't had any issues. Put it in the cabinet. I actually fixed this TM202G. Had to adjust it a little bit. Monitor. See if we can adjust that. I don't know, that looks a little like pinkish. I don't know what that color is supposed to be, honestly. Yeah, it's gonna look like shit. Yeah, I think I have it pretty well. The color's pretty well adjusted. I don't know. It's very temperamental. It's hard to adjust these 202s. And then you just choose your test track. And I'm going to play Fuji because that's the only one I know.
Prepare to qualify.
Totally different than pole position 1. I think I have too much blue because the inside of the wheels looks teal or something. Oh, just wrecked on the first one. Damn it. I'm not even going to qualify. Yep. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm distracted by the colors a little bit. But looks like it's working okay. I just need to put in a I can't remember if I put in a battery-backed SRAM in here or not. But I just wanted to finish with the game playing. That's it. Pole position. Need to put in a speaker grill and cut a back door. And this thing is pretty much done. I have a working pole position board as well. And now a working pole position 2 board.